Okay, so this is the warehouse. There are, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are at least 4 warehouses similar to this. Not always this size, sometimes smaller. Not always this accessible. Sometimes you need a sledgehammer. But warehouses are distinguished by their crates. These crates are going to have the majority of things you need to survive. Now, I was talking about crafting earlier. Let's take a couple of nails. Let's take a hammer. And we've already got what we need right here to make our first little crafting recipe. Right-click on your bat. Craft spiked bat. And now we have an improved weapon. Better damage. Alright, so now we can hear a zombie banging. What you want to do is cope with that. Sounds like it's this door. Sounds like it's only one zombie. Alright, so you can tell by the slow pace of it, it's only one zombie. If you hear like fucking bang, 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 it's obvious that there's going to be a lot of zombies there. But just for the sake of safety, just to be extra cautious, we're going to go around. We're not going to exit right in their face. And there's a zombie at this window, as I suspected there might be. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and bring this guy with us. He just fell down. He should chase us when he gets back up. Gave him a little shove there. Oh, wow, that turned him into a crawler. I've never seen that before. Interesting. Okay, so apparently sometimes you can shove zombies into crawlers. I did enough damage with the shove. Okay, we'll just take him out then. Go. You always want to be careful and take him out from behind with those guys. Now, sneak around this little lady. Alright, so now we're going to basically make this place safe for us to loot. Because as she's knocking, she's making noise. She's going to attract other zombies. Oops, too far away. Too far away. There we go. Gotcha. Now there should be no other zombies aware of us while we loot. So the thing about warehouses, you want to look for all the important things, like your saws, your boxes of nails. Flashlight is a good one if you like to loot at night and you don't have that cat's eyes. This is very handy. You can equip it secondary here in the secondary slot, the same way as you equip everything else. You right-click it, equip as secondary, it'll turn on, and then you'll be able to see much more easily at night. So the things we're going to be looking in here for are the boxes of nails, your axe, your hammer, repair supplies, things like twine. Crowbar is a blunt weapon. Nails, let me see here. I'm going to try and find us an axe real quick. Alright, another good general point. Pick up tent pegs. You can make yourself tent kits that you can then erect out in the wilderness and use those to sleep in, as long as you're aware of the safe area. You want to make sure it's a safe area. I just did skip another tent peg. You need 4 tent pegs per kit, so keep that in mind. Also, you use sturdy sticks and then a tarp. I believe you can also supplement the tarp with sheets. Sledgehammer is a very important item later on in the game. When you're making your own bases and you make a mistake, you need to take it down, you can sledgehammer it down. I believe you can also dismantle it now. But sledgehammers also allow you to change the layout of existing houses. So if you have a house that you found out in the wilderness, out in the forest, or on the edge of a city and you want to remodel it, well then you can knock down parts of it and rebuild it, knock down furniture inside, all that good stuff. There's a tarp. We can use that for a tent kit. So these are just sort of general warehouse items that you should be looking out for. Lighters are also decent to grab. We've got zombies at our window. So we're going to exit through this door that's a little bit further away so we're not right in her face. Check around. Nobody else seems to be aggroing on us. We're just going to push her away from the window again. And stomp her face. Gonzo. Gonzo the Great. Okay, so the other things we're looking for in here. Yeah, so saw, boxes of nails, axe, lighter's decent to take, bucket you can use to stockpile water. You might want a gardening spray can. You might want a full-size green gardening can. You don't need to really pick up the planks unless you're in a position where you can't find a saw and you can't cut your own planks from logs. Another thing that's important to mention is if you do reach a point in the game where you've seen like, oh man, I've searched the warehouse, I can't find an axe, which seems to be the situation I'm becoming a part of right now. You can also make makeshift axes to sort of supplement it until you find a better one. That'll allow you to cut down the trees as long as you have a saw to saw those wooden logs into planks. But if you have neither, then you're sort of at a juncture when it comes to being able to continue with construction and building up a safe house. Now that being said, you don't necessarily need to have a super duper big safe house, but you at least at the very least, want to have an alternate points of entry and exit, and also be able to barricade your windows and stuff so they don't just smash in on you and end your game in sort of a blink. If you have a sledgehammer, a good tactic that you can use in construction is to take out the stairs on a 2-story house and then throw sheet rope out the window. It looks like I have no luck today. I have no axe, as it were. Yep. I'd like your opinions on this, by the way. Throw some comments down there if you feel so inclined. Let me know if they're too long, if I'm going too quick, if a quickie tutorial doesn't really fucking sort the title anymore. I want to hear your opiniones. Alright, important thing to note as well, you're going to find things in here like those needles. If you're at a point where you receive a wound by jumping through, say, broken windows, things like that, and you have glass in a wound, or you have a deep wound, then in order to rectify that situation, you do need to sew a wound shut. So here, that's something I can go over here while we're going to the other warehouse in search of an axe. This is your health screen. It is your friend. By the way, I don't mind sort of, I'm gathering some zombies as I go here. I'm going to drop them by dropping line of sight, and then I'm going to go in the trail up there. I just sort of want to get these guys out of this area, making this place generally more safe to operate in. Right here, we're okay. If we got bit or scratched, it would show up here. Bit, scratched. And where? On the hand, on the arm, the head, the groin. Zombies are a fan of the groin. I'm not sure if you're aware. But I'm telling you, they are. Another important thing, sort of, I just noticed I'm getting hungry. Reduce strength and healing. If you're peckish, you don't need to really worry so much about eating. If you're full-on hungry, you should be eating, because that's soon going to reach a point where it's going to negatively affect your carrying capacity. As you can see here, I'm at 9.18 of 14. When this goes away, it's going to be 12. And then, if I had let it go further from hungry, it would actually reach a point where it starts drawing points away from this, so it would actually drop back to 11. But yes, health, as we make our way to the new area. Yep, I dropped him. We're good. Up here, sand trail. That's going to bring us to the Real McCoy logging facility. So your health screen. Bitten, scratched, that's bad news. There's a really good chance that you're going to get infected and die. That's the thing about Zomboid. But also you can get wounds in other ways. You can accidentally fracture your ankles, break your legs. You can get glass stuck in wounds by jumping through broken windows. There are other ways to get injured. They're just not coming to mind at the moment. So you'll come into this screen, which is the H button, or clicking on the heart over here. And that'll let you know what's wrong. So if you have a deep wound, you have to stitch that shut. So you'll need to either find a medical kit with a suture kit in it, or go into bathrooms and find yourself a suture kit, or go to a warehouse or people's shelves and stuff. You can sometimes find needle and thread, and you can use that to sew up the deep wound. Then you can disinfect it, then you can wrap it, and then it'll heal in a much more timely manner. If you have a deep wound and you're trying to make it heal with just bandages, then you're going to have a bad time. Unless you keep consistently disinfecting it, it's going to get like infected. It's going to take a really long time to heal. Is going to adversely affect your playstyle for a long time. Now, in terms of if you accidentally, or you were forced to, say, jump out a window on a second story, you can get fractured ankles or broken legs. What you want to do to repair that is to make yourself a splint. And the items that we are looking for right now, our axe and our saw, are required for the construction of a splint, because you actually have to take a plank and sew that to make sturdy sticks. Then you combine sturdy sticks with ripped sheets to make a splint, and then you equip that, and over the span of a week or 2 weeks, I think 10 days around somewhere there, a fracture or a break will heal. Actually, the full-on break might take longer. I think that might take up to a month, but I know a fracture can heal in 10 days. Alright, so welcome to the Real McCoy logging facility. Again, guys, if you're not familiar with the map, you want to be able to find some of these places, I don't blame you. Check out the real awesome Blind Coders mapping project. I'll link that again. Alright, so our primary items in the first couple of days. Rope is never bad. You can use rope to bundle up your logs and stuff for more easily moving your supplies around. You may notice that I'm not picking up the individual nails. That's because right now I'm just sort of doing a surface level inventory look here. Try and find an axe and a saw, because we need those before we can even use the nails. Trowel! That's an important item too to find in warehouses. Also, if you don't like having to search so far afield trying to find items, you can always take Lucky. That's why I tend to take Lucky. It helps you with the loot spawns. We would have found one by now. I would wager Tree Fitty. Next thing you know, it'll be $5. Okay, let's see here. Other important things. I'm trying to think of other important things to keep this sort of brief as possible. Things that are important during the next couple of days. Always make sure you're collecting those non-perishables and perishable foods. Collect the stuff from warehouses. You might also want to hit a medical facility. Again, if you want to know exactly where the medical facility is, you can get that from the Blind Coder Mapping Project. I will go there, I believe, in the next video. That was a shotgun, and I did put it in the wrong bag. Reason being, my main bag wouldn't take it because it has too much in it already. Wow, I'm having no luck. Another trowel, shotgun shells. And again, I only picked up 1 tent peg, so I'm going to want to pick up 3 more. You won't fit in there, really? Okay. So that in the near future, we can be making ourselves a tent kit. But yeah, guys, if you do find a sledgehammer, as I did earlier, and pick it up, what you can do, though it is time-consuming and it makes noise, is you can go through the crates that aren't immediately front-facing. You can destroy the front layer of them. Their loot, if there is any loot in them, will drop on the ground, so you don't need to worry about that. And then you can get to the further rows back. Again, I'm skipping seeds, I'm skipping flashlights, I'm skipping all kinds of stuff just because I'm trying to find that axe. Box of nails, that's great stuff. That's actually 100 nails. And if you go on your own and loot up stacks of nails, you can actually pack it into a box yourself, which reduces the weight and encumbrance. Wow, no luck. Alright guys, so I think I'm actually going to call Twiggy Quickie tutorial number 2 here. You get the general point from it though. You're going to go through all these crates and stuff at various warehouses to try and get yourself a box of nails or 2, your hammer and your axe and your saw. We found it. But alright guys, when we pick up for the next video, I'm going to make it back at the old base. We will hopefully have a axe and saw by then, and we're going to get into Twiggy Quickie tutorial on construction. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Love, peace, and chicken grease. I will see you next time.